Is the housing market that we're in today starting to look like the last great crash of the housing market in 2007, 2008? I get that question two, three times a week, pretty much on average. And obviously, I see a lot of people talking about it on social media. And I want to talk a little bit about, the statistics behind that. The housing market today, believe it or not, despite what the media might be saying, is very, very, very strong. And let's talk about what's different. The 2007 2008 crash was built on faulty lending practices. Okay. It was just bad lending. It was a wild west when it came to lending. And after that crash, the federal government passed laws that made the loans much more solid. Okay. They got rid of the things like the stated income products and these no document loans. It used to be that back in the day, if your credit score was high enough, you could pretty much get whatever you wanted and buy whatever you wanted when it came to that. Those days, and those days are gone. And that all worked great until they couldn't afford them anymore, right? The lending is better than it was back then. The equity position in the United States as it stands today is at 57%, meaning 43% of home values are backed by loans, and 57% is equity. And that's $11 trillion in equity, by the way. That's up 34% from 2021. The last market crash, 1 in 4 homes were underwater. And what that means is that the home value was less than the loan that the customer had taken out on the house. Today, that number is statistically almost zero. Okay, so we went from 25% of homes during the last market crash to zero, right? There's a 57% equity position on average, okay? Let's say something bad happens and the prices drop 15%. Everybody's still okay, right? And nobody's sure that prices are going to drop. So, that's another thing too. That number of 43% of loans on the total home values is actually the lowest figure ever, right? Let's also talk about adjustable rate mortgages. The number of adjustable rate mortgages is at 2.5 million loans today, and that's about 8% of the housing loans today. That figure was 13 million at the last crash, okay? Plus, the product is safer today. Most of the ARMs, the adjustable rate mortgages, are fixed for 7 to 10 years now, while the old products back in the crash reset after a few years, and that's when people began defaulting in huge numbers. So another thing to look at is loan delinquencies, okay? Even with the pandemic and all the suffering that came along with that financially for people, the number of people in default is at a record low. It's actually under 3% of homeowners are late on a payment. And that's just one payment. There's a long way between missing payments and foreclosures. So that's also a record low. Another thing that's different between now and the last crash is that we have these major corporations that buy homes and rent them out. We didn't have those at the level that we do today back during the last crash. So they are dying to pick up homes at a good value to add to their portfolios, right? So if we start going down that road, they're going to be the ones that are going to jump in and pick up those homes, okay, and just use them as rentals, okay? There are not enough homes for sale right now, and there aren't enough homes for rent right now. We underbuilt for years due to the labor shortage and the supply chain problems. And now, the demand is still, even with the change in interest rates, the demand is still so much greater than the supply of homes out there. Landlords have raised rents. It's hard on a renter if the landlord raises you 5%. Landlords in some markets have raised rents 30% in the last year, and they're at 100% occupancy, which is also, a record. It's never been, there's usually some vacancy rates on rentals, and they've got no problems. They got people lined up around the corner to get them. So the biggest problem that we're going to have in housing is Affordability. Affordability is at a record low in 44 of the major markets. Okay. So that's going to be something that's going to continue to be a problem. As far as the inventory of homes, it is rising, but it's still at this point, it's at half of what it was before the pandemic, right? And we have to get for even it to be a balanced real estate market. When we say that, who does the market favor, the buyer or the seller, or balanced? You're probably looking about 8, 9, 10 months of inventory, and we are nowhere near that right now, right? And that's just to be, that's not in a declining market. That's still in a seller's market at that point, until you reach those levels of inventory. And that's the number of homes that are available versus the number of homes that sell, each month. So, based upon all this, the housing market is still very strong. If you're thinking about selling your home, it's still an excellent time. That it's going to be a little bit more of a process. Who you choose to market your home matters. You want them to have an excellent target marketing program and a system, to get homes sold and get it exposed to the most people possible. It is still a great time to buy. It's one of the things about it is there isn't that frenzy out there right now where you have to compete with 10 or 15 offers, and if you're not a cash buyer, you're probably going to miss out no matter what you offer on the property. So interest rates have gone up, but they're still at a historic low number. We're right now we're taken back to about 2002 to 2004 levels of interest rates. They're still historically low, and they are expected to go up. So if you're thinking of buying, if you're going, maybe I'll buy in 6 months or a year, buying today is definitely going to save you money. It's going to save you hundreds of thousands of dollars in interest over the course of your loan, and it's going to save you on your monthly payments. It's almost certainly going to go up if you wait. So now is an excellent time. If I can answer any questions about the market, just go ahead and reach out to me. You can go ahead and message me here if you're seeing this on social media, or you can call or text me anytime at 850-677-1630. Love to hear from you. Thanks for watching.